Hey guys, welcome back to wemetatacme. I'm so excited to be here and in the other seat today because my guest has a side that she would prefer. My sister. Hi. Welcome
Hi.
back.
Thank you so much.
So I just told Albie, I call her Albie. I think I've said this before, but like
Yeah,
people
definitely.
know. It's short for Albert. And that she kind of for a second looked like Taylor Frankie Paul. And to my surprise, she had no idea who I was talking about. But if you're watching on YouTube, comment if you agree with me. Like it's I think it's the wife beater.
I don't think I look like that.
She's beautiful.
I don't know who you're talking about, so I don't
Yeah,
actually
so you
know.
can't know either way.
But my immediate
Um
defensive response is no.
okay, well let me paint a picture for everyone listening. It is 100 degrees outside. That's
Yes.
not an exaggeration.
No.
And it's not technically election day, but it's like the primary.
Yes. It's an
So I'm
important
wearing an
day.
I voted sticker because I voted, even though I never changed my address after I moved. So I still have to go down to Union Square to vote, which is so annoying. But I'm a good citizen, so I did it. And today I announced that you're going to be an aunt again,
Yeah. So excited.
which I feel like in our last episode, you were like, I just can't wait for you to have, for you to
Yes.
have two.
I literally said, who did I say this to? Jason the other day. I was like, I can't wait till she's a mom of two. It's one humbling experience to be a
Uh-huh.
mom of one. It's a very different ball game when you're a mom of two.
Well, you were just telling me that our family friend called you and was like, when does this get easier? Because he's in
Yeah.
the thick of it.
Yeah.
When did it get easier for you?
4 months old, baby. Baby number
Why?
two. Because then, like, I mean, you still have to keep them alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. So it's like not easy for a while, but I remember it just getting easier at 4 months because I was just getting more comfortable with my rhythm.
But do you think that because you had a toddler or like a baby, honestly, when you had Serena, that you just like had to have her go with the flow as the second born? Like
Yes.
it didn't like her nap schedule was irrelevant almost.
Yeah, but it was also COVID, so it was really easy to keep that up. So in that way, I feel like I've always been like a stickler with the naps
Mm-hmm.
because you are affected,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do think that it just makes you have to just let things go more.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I feel like second children end up having more of like probably not always me, but like a go with the flow mindset.
You think you're more go with the flow with
No,
than me?
I said
Oh,
not
okay,
always
not
me.
not you.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you usually see the second kid just like let things kind of
Yeah.
roll because the first kid is more like,
Oh, 100%.
you know.
Everything is about the first kid. Like, even after you have a second, I think people don't realize this. Like, you're still on the schedule of the first kid. So if you
Mm-hmm.
happen to have help, that's great. You can give the second kid is able to have a nice schedule that
Mm-hmm.
is their own. But like, everything is still always about your first because in general, that's who you need to please. The second one will do and go anywhere you say. Like, I
Right.
feel like it's all about, you know, kind of what David wants and
Mm-hmm.
like what is going to make him happy. So, and Serena is just happy knowing he's happy. Like, I can't explain
Yeah.
this feel this like
She's just the best.
she is, but like it's because he's the older like this is his domain and she's also just living in it and like she
But like
feels
it's
that.
obviously it's hard to know because we were infants, but I wonder if it was the same for us.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
I think you were flexible until you weren't.
Right. So crazy. Okay, the first question that came in is spicy. Wait, where'd it go? Okay.
Oh.
What's one secret you've never told each other?
Oh, a
I didn't
secret?
send her the questions ahead of time,
Yeah, I
so
have no idea what
we
she's
have
gonna
to
ask
give.
me today. This it's
They're not so crazy, but a secret
oh,
that
then
you've
I could
never
like
told
prepare
me.
ahead of
I
time.
feel like it's only going to be like, about like a hookup or things like that because that's the only thing that we don't really talk about because
Like what
personally
is
it
a
grosses me
secret?
out.
Yeah, she won't hear
Um
about it.
I'm trying to think a secret that I haven't told you. I don't know. I mean, I stole something when I was at Spence
Really?
from PS I Love You.
What did you steal?
I think it was like a keychain.
Oh, I tried to steal peanut M&Ms at Zitimer's.
Oh, that is not the place to steal, let me
I
tell
tried
you.
to, and the guy comes, he looks down at me because I was right in front of the register because I
Yeah.
was really smart. And he goes, "Hello, are you going to pay for
Oh
that?"
my god, that's so
And then I
scary.
looked
How
at
old
our
were you?
babysitter because she was with
Yeah,
me. She was
yeah.
like, I don't know what she was doing, and I was like, "Are you gonna pay for that? Because like this is what I want." I don't know why
Oh
I
my
decided I
god.
was gonna maybe steal it. I feel like every kid goes through that moment of
For,
like a
like, the thrill.
boundary. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, well, we don't really understand the idea of, like, paying for something until we're older because,
It's
like, you
true.
don't pay for things on your own.
Yeah.
You either like, your parent pays for it with you or, like, if you have a babysitter or whatever, so it is a very strange concept.
Yeah, I do think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's important to teach though,
I'm trying to
you
think if
know.
there's any other secrets. Like, not that interesting these days, you know?
I don't know either. I mean, maybe a secret for like my college years, but
I don't know if I wanna know
yeah,
those.
you didn't like those years for me either.
I don't think
What
anyone liked
years
those
did you
years.
like? You like now?
Yeah, yeah, but, like, what could be so secret then? Like,
It's
about,
not
like, a
so
drug
secret.
that, like,
Yeah, I
you
probably
did?
did
Like
some drug and
exactly,
had
like
a weird uh trip.
uh-huh.
I
Well, I
don't
mean,
know.
obviously, we all have, like, I don't know if
Oh, do you remember when we went to EDC?
yes, that was a drug-infested trip if I've ever seen one.
We
I
went
mean,
to
that was
Electric Daisy
crazy.
Carnival, for those that don't
I
know.
feel like I lost so many brain cells from
On
that,
that
like, I
trip?
have
I
no
can't believe we did that. Why
recollection.
would we do
Well,
that? That was
I was
crazy.
going with my boyfriend at the time and my best friends, and then you came with
I don't
Jessa, I think, right?
it was it was my boyfriend at the time, my drug
Oh,
one.
yes,
But I also
yes.
had friends there, so I just don't
Yeah,
know
well,
how
I don't
that
understand how
happened.
we also got
And
that
then there
trip
was also a
together.
lot of people from Syracuse there.
But it made no sense that we all, like, got our shit together to go to
Yeah, I
California
don't that's what
to
I'm
a
saying.
music
I don't get
festival.
how that happened. I
It
don't
must
get
have been
how.
a
And
coincidence.
mommy and daddy were just like, "Here's money to pay for your drug trip."
I don't even
Like,
remember
I
that
don't know, but
I
that's
don't
what
remember
happened.
that they paid at all, like,
So I didn't pay and you didn't pay because
your
we didn't have.
boyfriend probably paid
Oh,
for
maybe. But
you.
like we needed
Maybe
flights.
because they thought we were going together, you know how they
Yeah.
used to be like, "If you do it together, then we'll pay."
Just so we'd get along.
Well, I'll never forget, when I went to Lollapalooza,
I didn't do that.
my no, you didn't do that. I think summer after freshman year of high school. Maybe it was summer after summer after freshman year of college. It could have been summer after sophomore year of college. And I had done ecstasy for the first time. I had done, like, Molly before, but I did
Mm.
ecstasy for the first time, and that's, like, the difference for people listening who haven't done those things, and good for you, is ecstasy is, like, MDMA plus other random drugs mixed together, whereas Molly is just MDMA pure, and
Mm.
so I did an ecstasy pill or whatever, and are you not interested in my story? You're looking at your
No,
phone?
I'm interested. I want to hear it.
So rude.
So sorry.
And, I I had a bad trip or whatever. It didn't hit me until, like, after everyone had gone home from the
Oh
thing, and
no.
I was still rolling the next day on the plane
Oh
ride
my
home, and I
gosh.
was living with our parents at the time,
Yeah.
and because it was the summer, and I walked in and my dad goes, "I just read an article." He was like, "How was the trip?" I was like, "It was good." Like, he was like, "How was the music thing?" I was like, "It was great." He was like, "I just read an article that people at Lollapalooza were doing ecstasy." And it was literally a second after I walked in and, like, I had
Oh my
just
God.
become sober.
And our dad is a narc for anyone who wants to
And I
know.
was like, "Ecstasy? That's crazy."
Yeah.
But I think I told him that story recently and he, like, didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah, no, he
No,
would not think.
he was, like,
Now he
laughing.
can be fine with
Yeah,
those
no,
things. I
now,
think
like,
then he would have
because he
flipped.
looks back, you know, and
Yeah.
he's like,
He's
"Okay."
like, "Okay, she's fine now, so I can hear
Uh-huh.
about it." You know?
This person wants to know how often you drink alcohol.
I would say like 1 to 2 times a week, which
Mhm.
is very different than I think my tune last time when that question was posed or the time before, I don't remember.
Mm.
But it's definitely been cut down a lot.
Well, Jason hardly drinks at all.
Yeah, my husband is basically sober now
Yeah.
for no particular reason, but there's a lot of there's not it's alcohol is not good for you. I mean, this is well known.
Mhm.
Just like smoking is how, that came out and it gives you cancer. Alcohol actually has links to the same, cancerous things inside of us and Alzheimer's and horrible problems. But, again, it's, everything in moderation. I don't think cigarettes in moderation, but I do enjoy, martini.
Mhm. Mhm. What kinds of advice do you go to each other for? Hmm. I think I asked you something recently. Oh, about biting. So Zachary's in like a biting phase.
So cute.
And things that I remember that David, my nephew, went through, I'll be like, oh, how did you deal with this
Mm-hmm.
when,
Right.
he was going through that? So
Yeah. I think that's a lot of the advice. I don't know, like,
you ask me about social media
oh, yes, yes.
all the time.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Luckily, Lindsay has known what she's doing since
I
1992.
really don't know what I'm
You
doing, but
do.
you will literally call me like when I'm in a meeting and you'll be like, I need to know how to get my TikTok
No, it's
song to
been TikTok.
attach to my
So
video.
TikTok is very confusing to me, and that
It's
is a new
confusing to
thing
me
I've
too.
started.
It's really confusing. Okay, this is interesting. This person said you guys seem so different in parenting styles. I don't think we are that different.
Well, people probably see me now as a parent of like a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and you as a parent of a, so they don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we addressed this in the last episode, but this person continues, how do you think you're the same versus not? I think we both like a schedule and
Hmm.
appreciate and understand why it's important.
Yes.
Um, yeah. And I feel like our differences, I don't know. I think that it's hard to know what I'm going to be like when my kids are older. So I don't know.
I have a feeling it's gonna be similar to me because I was very regimented when I was at your stage also. But the one thing, that I did that I constantly tell you to do is the flexibility with, you know, the bedrooms and
Yes.
the travel, which I
Mhm.
do think you're going to get better with. And that's why I think I cannot wait for you to have this second baby because it forces you, if you ever want to do anything fun with them, you have to be able to get them to be flexible and share a room.
Yeah. No, I'm aware. I mean, that's going to be crucial.
Yeah.
Rooms don't grow on trees,
No, they
honey, and
don't.
neither do suites at
Oh my God.
hotels.
It's crazy.
This person said, I love the sister episode. So cute. What is
Oh.
your favorite cousin moment so between your kids so far?
Oh, there's
It's
so
really cute.
many. My kids are like obsessed with baby Zachary. Serena in particular is like, I think she thinks he's actually like her brother. Like she thinks she just wants to do everything for this child. And I think my favorite cousin moment is just when like Serena just tries to be helpful and then like Steven is sometimes like, okay, but oh, but okay.
Yeah, because she's like poking his eye, like, why does his eye feel like soft? She's so cute. When he was really little, he had that soft part of his head.
Yeah.
And Serena used to be like, what? So
Oh,
soft.
really? That's funny.
But
That's cute.
my acute moment for me was when we went to Serena's most recent birthday party and her
Mhm.
teacher was there and she was like, is like her teacher at school and she was like, "Is this the baby Zachary?" She was like, "Serena talks about him every day in class." And it was
So cute. I
so
don't know what
cute.
we're gonna do and call him when you have another baby. Is he
He's
gonna be
still gonna be
baby
baby
Zachary
Zachary.
or is he gonna be Zachary?
No, he's still gonna be baby Zachary forever. And the
That's
other one
so
will be
funny.
baby whatever. Well, I can tell everyone I'm calling my baby Sita for now.
Mm.
It's short for not as an actual name, but as like how I called Zachary Embrini when he was in the womb.
Mm.
It's short for Coroncita
Oh,
because
Love Island?
no, no, because
Mamacita.
no, but that's amazing. Oh, we need to do that TikTok.
Oh,
That's
yes.
genius. Okay, we're
I
doing
also
that
have
after.
another one for us to
Okay,
do.
okay, we'll do it after. But because Steven and I thought that we were gonna have a COVID baby. Not like we could have because I was still on birth control then, but
Right.
we joked about it. And we
Mhm.
joked about how we had to name our baby after coronavirus, which is what
Oh,
people
of
called it at the
course.
time, because that's like our
There's
love
probably a
story.
lot of babies named Corona.
Maybe. And so we wanted to make it have like a fun edge and be like at least a cute name. So he came up with Coroncita.
That's funny.
So she's named Sita until further notice.
Mamacita.
We need to do that. Okay. Ugh, so there's so many like eating questions for you, but I feel like that's like a little boring. So I'll save that for the end.
It's only what I do.
No, I know, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you don't want to talk
I don't
about,
care. It's
you
fine.
know,
Whatever you wanna
macros
do,
and
it's fine with
micros,
me.
but we can get into it. Okay, this person said, I'm moving in with my younger sister who's 3 years younger. I need advice on patience and
Oh.
coexisting / peace. Well, we live together.
Well, we have no advice for you there because
Yeah.
that lasted how long? I
Yeah.
think
Well,
2
you were
weeks.
never at the apartment when we lived together.
Well, I was with my husband at the
Yeah.
time, but
Your boyfriend at the time.
he was my boyfriend at the
Yeah.
time, but then it just he lived all the way downtown and we were in Union Square then, so it was just even easier for me to, and he would never sleep out. He's just one of those like men, and I don't know if this is like other men can relate or not, because most people can't relate. But he just would not sleep anywhere but his own apartment. And like I
Yeah.
could not care less.
Yeah. I think if I had come across a man like that who had a shared apartment, I would be like, hell no. But if they have their own
He didn't
space,
sleep at my apartment on the Upper East Side either. I lived by myself.
yeah, I mean, looking back, that is a red flag. But like, he had never been in a relationship, so he had never had someone to be like, you have to do this thing.
Yeah, I don't even think that's why it was. I just think like he has things that he just would not, but like that's just how he is.
Yeah, he's a stubborn.
He's a
guy.
stubborn individual.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm the complete opposite, and I would never sleep at someone else's place.
Yeah, I would never. No.
Unless I like was doing it so that I could strategically leave
Yeah.
before a sleepover.
But like we were just talking about this, my husband and I, that our friend just went on this beautiful trip. She was invited to this birthday trip in this beautiful remote island. They had to be on the schedule. So it's like this beautiful vacation in a once in a lifetime. You'll never
reminds
get to go.
me of that movie with that Zoe Kravitz directed about all the women who go on that guy's private island and then they all get murdered.
Oh, well, hopefully this is not.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're already back and fine.
Uh-huh.
But you're on the schedule of someone else when you stay at their place, when you
Yeah.
are invited on a vacation, when you are, so no, you're selling your soul to, of course, like it's so
Right.
nice. Like we stayed in Aspen and our friends.
Right.
But you're on someone else's schedule. My husband and I decided many years ago we were never gonna stay at someone else. Like someone could invite us and we'll get a hotel nearby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think you know this, but maybe you need a refresher. I was technically a yacht girl one summer in Mykonos.
Yeah, I do remember that.
It wasn't really yacht girling. I went on our friend Johnny's boat that he was putting together.
Well,
it was like a group
boat.
of guys.
He like rented the boat.
Rented the boat with a group of guys, and it was me and a few other girls who all the girls. One of them was Molly's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the craziest thing for me to say yes to because it's like it is very yacht. It's
personality.
but it's a yacht girl thing.
It's a lifetime fun opportunity.
Yes, but it is literally the definition of a yacht girl.
because
Like,
also
you get
you
invited.
didn't pay for it.
You get invited on an.
Right.
Well, I paid for my flight, but you get invited on like an all
Well,
expenses
you didn't pay
paid.
for it, but that was the funniest thing to this day. That's what Jason and I constantly say.
Yeah.
That they're all going on this yacht that they chartered, and who's sitting in first class?
Me.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you remember that?
Because it's still to this day, Jason hears stories about this from
Okay,
those
so
boys.
it's so funny. So, to give like a refresher, our dad is in the travel world, and at the height of what he was doing, we would get free flights and
But not just free flights,
upgrades,
free
first class flights. It was the time of our lives. And Steven still to this day is so upset about it because every boyfriend before him got access to this and like also got free flights, and he has no free flights. My dad's now retired. He has nothing. We have to pay for our own flights, whatever, sitting in the back of coach on the way to Italy. Like, obviously not complaining. It's a beautiful blessing to have been able to do that and to continue to travel now. Still expensive, still insanely expensive, but it's hysterical. So, by the way, I didn't even remember that I sat in first class on that trip because I was like so drugged.
I'm sure.
Probably as
But Johnny
as a yacht
remembered
girl.
and all.
No, of course. So I'm on the flight to Mykonos or wherever you fly first and then go to Mykonos. And I'm in first class and the rest of the guys paying for the boat while I pay for nothing are sitting in coach.
Hilarious.
So
So
funny.
good. It's
But it
really
was a
so good.
disaster of a trip. I mean, it was
Yeah.
good for like a second, but it was one of those trips where you weren't fed. Like
Yeah.
yacht girls do not get fed.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I
Like
mean, I never did anything like this in my life
I
because I know myself.
no, it was I had never looked skinnier
Yeah.
because what we would do was we would be fed maybe breakfast and it was like an egg. Okay.
I could never
There was
function.
nothing on this boat.
Yeah.
And then but the breakfast was at like 1 p.m. And
Yeah, 'cause
then
they're all getting up.
correct. And then you would go out at 4 p.m. and not return until 6 a.m.
No.
It was crazy. And
But it's a good experience. I'm glad you did it. But like,
no, me too. But I ended up having a huge fight with a guy there. I'll say his name and then bleep it with I don't remember his last name.
Yeah.
I don't even need to bleep it. Like if he's listening, he would hysterically laugh too because I had brought weed with me because this was obviously pre-sobriety.
Right.
And he was also a big weed smoker and I thought that he stole my
Yes,
weed.
I remember this.
And by the
now.
way, I think he did still
And
to
I
this
remember
day.
I think you called me from the yacht and were like, "This guy stole my weed.
Yeah.
And you won't admit it."
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm leaving.
And I was like, "Lindsay, you need to get off that boat right now."
Yeah. And then I packed my bags and I'm sitting on the tender, or as you call it, the Tinder. And I'm waiting to leave, and all of these guys are coming on the tender. Don't go, please don't go. Guys, this and that. And then I'll never forget our fight escalated so much. And then I had the line of the century. You're gonna die for this. We were really going low, like below the belt at each other, like saying really crazy, hurtful things. I didn't even know this guy. He didn't even know me. And I was like, well, you're such a fucking loser. Like, you don't have friends. Like, I said something like that. And he was like, well, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but you have to hear it. He goes, well, your pussy stinks. Okay. Hold on. Obviously,
you allowed to say that on here?
Yeah, obviously I'd never touched this man, of course.
That's like weird.
So I immediately figured out, and I'd never hooked up with any of these guys on the boat, by the way. I was a yacht girl, but I didn't touch them. But I didn't touch them. And this guy, and then I go immediately, my retort goes, how do you know? Did you smell it while I was sleeping?
Look at you, you're so witty.
And the whole, and everyone was hysterically laughing and the fight ended and there was an apology and whatever. Funny. And then obviously like he tried to date me after or something.
He liked your comeback.
Anyway, yacht girl life is not for me. I don't even know how we got to that
how
point.
did we get there?
No idea. Who's to say? Who's to say?
Don't know.
Of living with a sister is how we got there. Anyway, so our advice is just don't do it.
Next question.
Don't do it. It's
That's
too,
we're
you shouldn't live together as adults. Like you have to spread your wings.
I mean, we live together in the summer.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's enough.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a longer one. I've seen red flags from my sister's boyfriend since the beginning. It's now been 3 years and they have a new baby together. Lately, I have noticed instances of him either blatantly lying to her or omitting the truth and talking about her disrespectfully behind her back. He cleans does a lot around the house, but he doesn't help with the baby much. He claims he doesn't like the baby phase and is better with toddlers. But the way he says it makes me sick to my stomach. I love her so much and I'm being the most supportive sister I can. I was her doula. I go over and cook for them, take my niece on walks, and I just love spending the day chatting with my sister and holding my niece. But I'm getting really uncomfortable around him and I don't know what to do. She deserves better, but she loves him. What would you do?
Oh, I mean, the only thing there is to do is to support her because if this is now the father of her child. And I mean, it doesn't sound like it's too promising for the future, but it might be. And, if you do or say anything that will ruffle feathers, you could, tarnish your relationship with your sister and with your niece.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a really sticky situation.
It's really sticky. I think once somebody has a baby with someone, everyone around them has to shut the hell up because unless they're in an abusive situation.
Yeah.
Because
they're choosing to stay, and it's a very hard, difficult time as it is. So
Yeah.
Let them float above water for now, and then you kind of, always support her and then see where things go. But what
Yeah.
else can you do?
I mean, I guess the other thing that you could do is say something, but you'd have to take the risk that you might be cut out of their lives. And then when she really has a real issue and she's
Right, she
ready
won't
to
come
go to
to you.
someone, she won't come to you.
I don't think it's worth it.
And yeah, it's
I
not worth
wouldn't
it.
do it.
Just be supportive and she will figure it out and then she'll come to you when she does because you were always supportive.
Yeah, I like that.
Um how to handle okay, this is one for you. I feel like you honestly have talked about this in one of our episodes, but in case you haven't, how to handle differences in ideas of engagement timeline.
Oh, yeah, we definitely I don't know.
I
I
do feel
feel
like we
like
talked
it
about it.
depends when you meet,
Mhm.
which I feel like we talked about in a past episode.
Okay, but let's create the scenario. Let's say you started dating at 28.
Okay.
You've been together for 2, 3 years now. You're
Oh, then it's
31.
time. Then it's time.
So, how do you approach that?
I would just be like, if you don't propose to me, and respect that I am a woman and have a certain, and I want to have a family, this just isn't going to work for me. You kind of have to lay it down because although I do think 28 is very young still, you know, but I don't know. When I was 28, like I was like, I needed him to, I wanted him to propose so bad because we were still, I think he proposed when I was 28. That's how old I was.
Mhm.
But we had been together for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. I think it definitely has to do with age. It definitely has to do with length of how long you've been together.
Yeah.
I think so I started dating Steven at 29 and he proposed by 31, so
Hmm.
like a little under 2 years. But I think that if I had met him at 28, if I didn't know what was gonna happen by 30, I would be pretty upset. Like, it should have been addressed by then.
Yeah,
Not you
definitely.
don't have to say, like, "I'm proposing on April 3rd,"
No, of
but
course not.
but
There needs to be a timeline that's talked
there needs to
about.
be something. I think again, I'm very anti-ultimatum. That's not my vibe, but I think I got lucky because Steven had said something like, "I hope we're on the same page." Like something like that. It was like actually we had had a fight. And this is why arguing or like fighting can be very good in relationships because it can bring you closer and open up hard conversations sometimes that need to be
Definitely.
had. And I remember we had had a fight and I was really upset. And I basically said something like, okay, well, like, if you don't want to be together, like, then that's fine or something dramatic.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? Like, that's not where my head was at all. Like,
Mhm.
I hope you know that I have like plans for us. Like,
Mhm.
I have
That's so
hopes, like
cute.
something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And that chilled me
Oh,
so
I'm
out.
sure.
I never started a fight again. I was like, okay, cool.
I think with like so I like moved in, quote unquote, many times to my husband's apartment and
Yeah.
then moved out many times because but it wasn't like an official move in he was just like, I'm actually like, I'm not ready for that because there was so
Not
many.
ready for the move in or not ready for the proposal?
No, the move-in,
Mhm.
like, 'cause it was, like, so many years in the making, but I remember just every time that, like, we'd have a fight and I would start packing my stuff, like, in my little duffel bag that I always kept there for our fights, and then he'd be like, he would calm me down in the way of just saying, like, "Not every fight you have to move out. Why can't a fight just be a fight?" And that's not how, like, my brain worked at the time. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna break up now," or, like, I have to like be very dramatic right now and move literally out of here and then have you come to me in a very dramatic way,
Yeah. In a rom-com.
Yeah, but like that's not how real life is.
No, no, I agree. Okay, this person says how to not get in a toxic mindset when skinny people prioritize skinny over healthy. So I think, and actually, you know this because we talked about it recently. Shout out to Haley Sachs, who brought it up. Skinny talk, like skinny
Mm,
TikTok or whatever,
yeah.
is blowing up right now. And it's these girls who are like, being skinny is like everything. And if you're skinny, like nothing else matters and whatever, whatever. And
Yeah.
I think
I've
what
seen a
this
few TikToks
person,
on this, but I
yeah,
don't like I'm not like that attuned. It doesn't come up on my algorithm.
right. But I think what this person is asking is like, how can you be healthy but not take it to a toxic place of like skinny? You know what I mean?
I mean, I just feel like living in a balanced way that's like sustainable is like this is like very common sense. Like if you're all you're thinking about is being skinny, like how is that healthy? You know? Like you have to take it down a bunch of levels and like um get back into like this healthier mindset of how can I nourish my body, And that's like the mindset. It's not you can't like people often ask me like how do you have abs all the time or whatever.
They're made in
And
the kitchen,
but
honey.
they think that if you don't eat, that's how they come. That's not how they come. They come because you're eating, And it's not necessarily like people have this like you know, I don't know, thing in their head where it's like the less you eat, the less like you just look thinner and you like I know people who are large who eat nothing, and I know people who are teeny and eat a ton. Like that's not going to get you where you need to be if that's what you want. You could have goals, but they need to be, I think, you know, normal healthy goals that make you feel don't make you feel like you're doing something that's completely out of control. And that's what the
Mhm.
skinny talk is just like completely out of control.
Right.
Like this is not the mindset. I don't get how this Gen Z generation thinks like
No.
that's what you should be doing.
It's so scary.
Like strong is where we need to be.
Yeah. This person asks, "Is it hard to be gluten-free around your family?" Well, this is funny
Ugh.
because our parents have no idea that Allie's gluten-free to this day.
Like I just don't understand how they just disregard it so much. Like I feel like I have just had so many like challenges explaining to my dad who probably also has celiac because of his stomach issues that I probably genetically got this from him, would never get tested, would never admit it, probably also has a dairy allergy, constant stomach issues, but like for some reason disregards, like my mom will have a dinner party, nothing is gluten free, not
Yeah.
even the sauce on like on the
Right,
steak.
right.
And she's like, "What do you mean? Like you can't eat this?" And I'm like, "Ma, like I don't I it's at this point, how many years has it been?
Yeah.
2016. So almost 10
No,
years.
it's crazy. I mean, our parents are wonderful, but the
Is
one
it a
thing that
different generation thing?
must be, because the one thing that they'll never understand is any of our allergies. So I have a lot of allergies and sensitivities to like fruit with skin on it, like or peanut butter, things like this. And first of all, we have a peach tree like in our a
Yeah.
pear tree in our
Yeah.
house that my dad like recently got,
And he'll tell you
which I'm
about it if you
allergic
ever
to,
come
and he'll
over.
try to get me to eat a pear. And it's always, "Oh my god, you have to try this. Just try my mom's always, "Try my smoothie with a banana
Yeah,
in it that
yeah.
you're allergic to."
But the funny thing is, thank God it's not like a deathly allergic allergy. Like, I don't know
Yes.
if they would take it seriously,
No.
you know?
Maybe if it were, but I
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Like, maybe if something horrible happened to us.
Yeah. Who's to
I
say
don't
even
know.
then? Okay, advice for newlywed couples.
Like, vague general advice?
I guess.
Um, Marriage is work.
Mhm. It's funny because they used to say something like the first year of marriage is the hardest. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah.
And I would laugh because I would be like, well, what could happen the first year that's hard? But for us, it actually ended up that way because we had all of
Yeah,
these
you had
IVF
yeah.
issues. Um, but like, I think I think that your priorities have to shift when you get married. Like your partner, your husband or wife is your priority. Like
I agree.
they come first. Obviously, you come first, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they come ahead of your friends now, ahead of your family, and that
Yes.
doesn't change, I would say, really until you get married.
No, I mean, I was starting to see it change for you and Steven pretty immediately, though.
Yeah. I mean, definitely he brought out a way more nurturing side of me for
And I
sure.
also think like a way more considerate, like I had never seen
Yes.
you like shush the entire house because he was on a work call in the room all the way upstairs where no one
Yeah.
could hear him,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally.
making sure he always had his sandwich from like
Uh-huh.
one specific store not close to our
Yeah,
house.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, I guess this might be the one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm a really good wife. How many sandwiches have you made for me?
are you asking me this or
No,
is this a
it's the
joke?
line from Summer House where
Oh,
Lindsay says it to, like,
I am not
one
like
of her.
I wish I could be better at your pop culture,
Ugh,
Lindsay, okay?
people
I
got it
am a
who were
I am
listening.
an old millennial, as I say, and my sister is a young millennial. Although we're 2 years apart.
No, there's a term for it. You're an elder millennial.
Oh, I'm an elder millennial. I
Mhm.
definitely am. And
That's what Nikki Glazer calls herself.
oh yeah, yeah. No,
Mhm.
I'm definitely in the elder. I'm just got on TikTok last week trying to
Mhm.
figure out
Mhm.
how to work things.
Mhm.
And my sister has been good on technology since she was out of the
No, I'm really
womb.
not that good.
You
Okay.
were.
This person says, "Should I break up with my boyfriend of 3 years if we're going to different colleges?" I hate to say it to you, honey, but college will do that for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much right
Yeah.
now.
Whether you
Just
do
go
or
visit him
don't.
once or twice and you'll never want to go back.
Exactly. Well, that's like
Happened to me.
that's, wait, who'd you visit at college?
Ugh, I don't want. Are you gonna bleep it?
Yeah, bleep. Oh, I kind of remember
I
the
can't
name.
remember his last name
But
now.
you weren't at college yet.
Yeah, we were.
Oh,
I went
interesting.
to visit him
Okay.
at
Mhm, mhm. Oh, I remember that now.
not fun. Daddy had to get a plane for get a flight for me out of there.
Ugh, why was it so bad?
Why was it so bad?
This part I'm not gonna bleep, so choose your words
Um,
wisely.
he was like a big hockey guy. Like
Yeah.
he was on the
Oh,
hockey
I
team and
remember
there was
that.
a lot of hockey things and I was
Mhm.
not like a hockey
Yeah.
like a hockey
A puck
girlfriend,
slut, as we call
a
them.
puck slut. And I also just like did he like, you know, I slept with him in his dorm one night, like he shared this and I actually made our dad get me a hotel room at La Quinta or something next door
La
because
Quinta, I
yeah, I
don't think that's a
remember it.
place in Boston.
No, it was. I
Okay.
remember it very
Uh-huh.
specifically because I was traumatized by this experience, and I said, "I'm getting a hotel because 'cause I'm not sleeping in this dorm." And I thought it was disrespectful that he bleep um, that he didn't get the hotel room
Hmm,
for us.
interesting.
And also he
Oh,
just was
so
disrespectful to
that's
me.
actually a really good question to ask as a poll, and I hope I remember this, but I'll go back. Like, when you would visit your significant other in college, did they get a hotel room? 'Cause I think I don't know, I mean, we're so broke in college, and obviously, thank God our dad was kind enough to do that for you, but I think a lot of people just, like, that is the norm to just, like,
I don't know.
but you at least say to your
That was
roommate,
my
"Hey,
only
sleep out
experience.
tonight
Yeah.
because my girlfriend's
Right. No, it
coming."
was like I feel like that was my only experience ever doing something like that at not
Mhm.
my own college.
Right.
And I would never recommend it ever
Yeah.
again.
Okay, this is cute, but, like, I don't this is one that we would have had to maybe think about. What is the most meaningful piece of advice you've given to each other? Okay, well, I'll say a silly joke one, which I just told you before we got here because I ate my Kith treats,
Oh
and
yeah.
I said, "You told me your order once," and I always get that order now, and I'll share it with our listeners. It is a swirl, like an ice cream swirl with I add the Rice Krispies, mini M&Ms, and rainbow sprinkles, and it's
I
delicious.
don't remember this being I never had like an order at Kith. Like I don't even remember what
You
you're
did,
talking
you told
about.
me once. I
I
swear.
mean, I believe you. I just don't remember this. I
Yeah.
also don't remember. I have a very selective memory.
How do you get all this protein into one day?
Oh, so this protein fad is a little crazy to me. It's like
Mhm.
all of a sudden people are counting all of their stuff, all their macros, all their calories. It's crazy to me. And if you've been a client of mine or you follow me, you for a while, you know that I don't believe in the counting and I feel that it will lead to a toxic, relationship with food. But in terms of this protein craze in our society, I really more believe in a well-balanced diet. I do lean heavy on the protein, on the
Mm,
lean protein, but I just don't think it's something like I need to hit a certain number of like I really feel you need to listen to your body because our bodies are so smart and they'll tell you what they need.
yeah. And I do think that you can get protein. in things that you wouldn't expect to get protein in. Like,
Yes.
people are so crazy. You can only eat, like, this yogurt or, like, this cottage cheese. It's like, no, you can get protein in more things than you'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But, I do think protein is really important. It's also the building blocks of building muscle in our bodies. But I
Mhm.
don't feel that this um moment we're going through of, protein craziness is healthy either. Like, I think there
Mhm.
needs to be just a moderate balance of everything that we're eating.
Yep.
Fiber is really important. There's so many nutrients that are important. And I think protein is one of them. But you know, I don't think counting the protein is healthy, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Okay, so before we started recording, we were talking about the camp that we went to and how there's a drama there, and I have an update.
Oh.
So, I guess our camp wrote, I'm not gonna dox the camp, but they said, so and so who the guy who was in charge is on a leave of absence and will not be with us this summer. As this is a private matter, we're unable to share details at this time.
Oh.
That's very
Where are you
sus.
seeing this on the Instagram?
Uh, Camp friend just DM'd it to me, like, "Did you see this?"
Send it to me, please.
No, it's crazy. I will. When to tell family and friends you're dating a new guy.
It depends how serious it is and what your timeline is over there, how old you are, and I think there's a lot of external factors that go with that.
I agree, but I probably wouldn't until you know it's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, or if you it depends how close you are with them.
Yeah.
What do you tell them
I
normally?
just feel like
Do they get overly excited?
things can get jinxed if you
That's
tell
true.
them too
Yes,
soon and you
that's
put
what
them on a
happened with when
pedestal.
you met Steven. We didn't hear
Yeah.
about him for
I
a
didn't
while,
wanna
and you
tell
had told
anyone.
us about everyone
Mhm.
else very early on.
Mhm. Okay, this is interesting and funny. Can I come back from a rage text 6 dates in? Honestly, no.
But when was the rage text?
Just, like, after 6 dates.
Um, yeah, I think so.
I don't think so.
Probably not, but there's always I mean, I wouldn't
That's like
if you're the girl doing or I don't know, it's a red flag.
yeah, it's definitely a red flag, if not deal breaker. It's like when you I don't know if this ever happened to you or to a friend of yours, but when you accidentally send a screenshot of your conversation to that person,
Oh, that's a
that's
problem.
that's the kiss of death.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That is the
Or when you
kiss.
follow them on Facebook
My
accidentally when
mom
your
used to do
mom
that all the
yeah.
time. Um, okay,
That's why
this
you stopped telling her about your boyfriend.
yeah, exactly, but she still did it to Steven, by the way. She still did it to Steven. Your boyfriend called you a previous hookup's name during a fight.
Oh,
Do you have a right to get mad?
I mean, it was an honest mistake, but, I always feel like these are, Freudian slips.
Mhm. Agreed. Like, you were reminding him of that hookup in the moment because you were annoying him the same way
Yeah,
she annoyed him.
something is just not
Mhm.
100.
Mhm. Do you agree with the philosophy that the money will come?
What do you mean?
I guess, like,
Without working for it or
keep doing something and the money will come.
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like, if you're good at it and
I was
suits you.
doing healthy alibi on the side of my teaching career
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do 2 more. Is it bad no, that's similar to a different one that we just did. Okay. How to help your man in the bedroom, like, guide him if neither of us are super experienced.
Yeah, I think you could tell him exactly what to do and what you like and what you want.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you should, for sure. Because if you
Definitely.
don't, you're the one
Yeah, it's your fault.
suffering. Mhm. You run into a guy you've been on 7 plus dates with. Do you greet with a kiss or a hug?
A hug.
Hmm.
No, 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 no.
You're going through phases in a long-term relationship where you sometimes wanna break up with your boyfriend, but other times you're so in love with him. Does this happen or is it not normal?
Um, it happens.
I think it's not normal.
I mean, it depends on the circumstance and the situation. I want to
Yeah.
know what he's doing.
Do you know the pop culture reference in Bridesmaids where she's like, people change.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
did
think they
that
do." Oh,
one.
yeah, we did it as a TikTok. Okay, amazing. This was so fun, Albie. I can't wait to make our TikTok.
Can't wait.
Can you leave us with a quote or piece of advice?
Um, just do you. Just don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Stay in your own lane. That's how I really focus, my positive energy in this world is focus on you, your family, and, zero comparison to others. Stay in your lane. Focus, focus, focus.
Love that. Until our next sister episode, where can everyone find you?
I am on Instagram as Healthy Alibi, and I am now on
Ah,
TikTok as Healthy Alibi too.
love
I
it.
went viral.
She did go viral. Betches reposted her.
It was cool.
Very cool. Love you so
Still have
much.
4 followers though.
You'll get more.